And I think the real test of the depth of commitment to ecological society will come when we see the sort of outcome of times when these policies are in tension with each other. Policies, again, about state stability and about the economy. So even as China is trumpeting its commitment to ecological society, it's engaging still very substantially in activity pursuant to major policies that works in a very different direction. So just by way of example, China produces more cement now per year than the rest of the world combined. China produces more than half of the world's steel, even though its population is a little more than 20% of world population. Its global carbon emissions are the world's largest, although much less per capita than here in the US. And it's continuing still to build new coal-fired plants, albeit much more clean than old ones. And the Yarlung Sampwa Dam in Tibet is the world's largest, and is said by scientists at Yale to have been producing quite a few serious ecological harms. That's a dam that cost $167 billion. This is a big undertaking. So I mention all these things not in the least to discredit the steps that China's been taking to foster a better environment, but again to raise the questions of what will happen when different policy objectives interact. China, as we all know, is now dealing with a major unemployment problem, the exact extent of which we just don't know. I mean, it's not fully public, which is one reason why Chinese factories keep pumping out exports, even in the face of wildly fluctuating U.S. tariffs and clear unhappiness on the part of Europeans and others about being the place where diverted exports go. So it's hard to envision, in the short term at least, less demand for energy, particularly in the winter. We all know a few years ago there was a major energy crisis, and less industrial activity. And so I can't help but think that when environmental activism is likely to have a major impact, a meaningful impact on things like employment, that concerns about social stability are going to predominate. So that's my first sort of caveat. Second one, I think we see something similar with respect to the capacity of civil society organizations that I think could be good to note. As you yourself have indicated in some of your other very fine scholarship, there are still several important areas that are off limits. So civil society organizations cannot seek judicial review of environmental impact statements, pollution permits, land use zoning, limits obviously in going after the government directly, all these quite important. In addition, my sense is that many environmental issues require a high degree of scientific or technological capacity on the part of an NGO, or for that matter, prosecutors or courts, but on the part of NGOs to identify and know how to seek redress for, whether it's seeking redress in courts or elsewhere. And the fact is that China's CSOs are generally not well funded, and generally are locally focused rather than national or international in their scope. This, I really want to underscore, is not by accident, but really is a product of willful design by the party state in the interest of social stability. The 2017 NGO law basically cut off funding from foreign sources, which had been quite important for many CSOs. The 2014 Environmental Protection Law circumscribes the range of NGOs that can go to court for public interest litigation. There are 5,000, as Professor Lin, as she noted, and she correctly noted, also many of them are very small, but the number who are actually eligible to bring cases is yet smaller. And in general, policy and law work together in China to keep NGOs focused very much on their local area rather than forming national organizations, even though we all know that many environmental problems, particularly things like acid rain, transcend local borders. And also, as I'll note more in a minute, sometimes local forces can preclude serious, meaningful local CSOs from being able to act.